Even though I've been a Christian all my life, it wasn't until I was going through a hard time that I got to know God. I learned that only God could help me through my problems. Even though I knew God, I needed time to connect with Him. It's not enough to know facts. God wants to have a connection with each of us. You don't have to wait until it is hard to connect with them. You can do things right now to strengthen your relationship with God. Knowing something about Him is not enough. You have to build a deeper relationship with Him. Whether you're new to Christianity or have been a Christian for a long time and feel like your relationship with God is weak, here are some important things you can do to improve it. What does it mean to have a personal relationship with God? Think about your relationship with the most trusted person, like a spouse, parent, or friend. A relationship with God on a personal level is like that, but even deeper. It brings real happiness, love, and friendship. God is committed to you, and you are committed to God. It's a unique relationship with a deep link beyond any other relationship you may have on earth. What does it mean to know God? Understanding God is more than just learning facts about Him. For example, think about having a crush on a guy you've known since high school. You know his address and phone number, like some of the same things, and even have friends in common. Even though you talk sometimes, there is still a void. In the same way, knowing God means having a deeper, more personal relationship with Him than just learning the facts. It's about building a relationship beyond teaching facts and involves feeling close to and understanding each other. You may know a lot about this guy and be friendly, but you're not friends with him. No deep conversations, hearing personal stories about his life, seeing tears or happiness in happy times. You need to learn about his significant difficulties or the strange habits he's picked up. Similarly, knowing God is more than just being acquainted with Him. It means knowing His love, character, and heart. To know Him, you have to be able to recognize His voice and feel His presence. God is close to us when we know Him. Even when things are hard, we have to trust His plan because He has always been dependable and trustworthy. In that case, how can you start to get closer to God? Number 1, spend some time with Him by reading and praying His Word. To build a close relationship with God, praying and reading the Bible regularly is essential. This is the basis for a healthy friendship since deliberate communication is important in all relationships. God is in charge, but He wants people to choose to spend time with Him. Read the Bible, figure out what He wants, and pray to meet His love. Connecting with God might not always feel as spiritually high as a Sunday service, but it's much like those less exciting but still important times in relationships. Just like talking to friends might not always be fun, but it's important. Setting aside time to pray and study the Bible might not always be exciting, but it's very important for spiritual growth. Number 2, try to connect with other Christians. Building relationships with other Christians is another good way to grow your relationship with God. I'm sure our connections with other Christians are very important for developing our relationship with God. We need each other. Sharing learning and growth with other Christians who share your beliefs can help you get closer to God. When I was in college, I was part of a group that met once a week to learn the Bible and worship. As each person talked about their experiences with God, the group's faith and relationship with God grew. You might want to join a group of Christians at school, church, or neighborhood. Meeting other Christians in your area can have life-changing effects that improve your relationship with God in ways you might not expect. Being part of a group of believers can help you grow spiritually and get closer to God through shared experiences, discussions, and support. Number 3, talk to God everywhere you go. It is possible to talk to God anywhere. In the Bible, this is called praying without ceasing. Having this attitude means that we think about God all the time and pray over and over again. We think about asking God for help when things get hard and thank Him for being good. Our God is different from others because He is close to us and cares about the most minor things we need. This idea of constant communication is like a relationship with God, where He is deeply involved in our daily thoughts, making a link that goes beyond what we can generally understand. It stresses that God is not just a faraway God, but a close friend who hears our prayers and cares about the little things that are important to us. This makes prayer an important part of our lives all the time. Number 4, pay attention to what God is saying. Relationships work both ways. It's not enough to talk to God. You must also listen. God is always talking to us, but we miss it sometimes because of things like work, TV, social media, and friends. Make sure that these things aren't getting in the way of you hearing God's words. The two of you talk and listen to each other. Taking a moment to block out the noise around you lets you hear God's words of wisdom and direction, making your relationship with Him more profound and balanced. Number 5, try not to compare yourself to others. Comparing ourselves to others is a big problem in the world today. This may be because of social media and how often we see the best parts of other people's lives. Getting past this is important for a strong relationship with God. God has a connection with each person that is different from the other person's. I remember praying with friends in school. Some prayed out loud and with a lot of emotion, while others spoke beautifully. I felt terrible about myself and wondered why I couldn't talk like they could. My authentic voice, not a copy of someone else's, was what God wanted. Our connection with God is holy, not something to be measured or compared, just like prayer isn't a race. For a natural and satisfying spiritual journey, it's important to know that the grass isn't always greener on the other side and that your relationship with God is unique. Number 6, allow yourself to trust Him completely. Trust is necessary for building a personal bond with someone. I get why people are skeptical. I'm often hesitant to trust. Still, you can trust God. You can trust Him entirely and know He won't disappoint you. Even the thoughts and feelings that aren't politically correct are safe with Him. He won't turn you away if you tell Him you're angry, scared, or have done something wrong. Tell Him your darkest secrets and most challenging problems. Only He can help you get better. God already knows how you feel. Don't try to hide them behind Christian words. He won't be hurt by what you think. Let God guide you through the pain and uncertainty as you process. Number 7, learn how to depend on God. If you want a real relationship with God, you must learn to lean on Him. As someone who likes to be independent, it was hard for me to start depending on God for everything. This meant asking for His help before making choices, asking to be with Him at the start of each day, and asking for wisdom in daily conversations. I learned to lean on God, which became an important part of my relationship with Him. Not only is it a spiritual exercise, but it's also a way to remember that real strength and direction come from Him. When making decisions, going about daily life, and having deep conversations, recognizing that you need God is the key to building a solid and honest relationship with the divine. As a person moves from being self-sufficient to being a partner, their dependence on God becomes the basis for a deep and lasting connection. Getting closer to God is a process that takes time, not something that happens all at once. Sometimes you may feel a strong connection with Him. Other times you may question His presence. That's okay. Understanding God is complicated, just like any other interaction. Every season gives us chances to go deeper and learn more about Him. As you get closer, God shows you who He is and gives you more information about His personality. Along the way are highs and lows, times of certainty and doubt. Accepting that this connection is complicated and will change over time is important. It is a journey that changes over time as you learn more about who God is and how you connect to Him at different points in your life.